Well, first off, thank you so much for making it tonight, because this is an unusual subject, but it's actually not just about romance and sex. It's about the expression of life, and that's truly what it is. Now, does it take courage to have a relationship? Yes or yes? Tremendous, tremendous. And we're going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about the nervous system, how that works, and how to really learn how the body works. And this is a formula. You can write this down. Romance plus connection plus trust plus passion equals not just great sex, but great life. Now Shakespeare said it last. Who could refrain that had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known? How would it be? And this is hugely important. Now tonight, I'm going to teach you certain things that will be very similar, whether you're a man or whether you're a woman. Both how to cultivate your sexual energy, how to develop a deep, deep connection, which is the key. Diet, okay, which is nutrition, particularly on how to express life, how to keep your sex organs healthy, how to strengthen muscles, depending on you're for male or female, how to increase energy, vigor, actually be able to experience multiple orgasms, men and women too, it is possible, and how to become a better lover. And what's wild is how to love deeply. Now, yes, beer, helping ugly people have sex, and no, we're not going to talk about this, okay? We're going to talk about other things. Okay, now, first off, we've got to look at the autonomic nervous system. There's two parts of it. One part, rest and digest. The other is fight and flight. Okay, you need both. The old analogy, see, I taught anatomy for 8 years, is point and shoot. Okay, so the point one has to do with the arousal, and that has to do with the parasympathetic nervous system. The shooter, ejaculation, or the climax one in both male and females has to do with the sympathetics. So you need healthy autonomics or healthy automatic nervous system. Anything that disrupts the autonomics is going to disrupt the flow. Because how many people have one that's going well and not on the other one? Okay, everybody. This is where those dysfunctions come from. And what they're not telling you is that it's a part of the nervous system. So I'm going to show how to initiate both of them. Now, the nervous system is the key. This is where sensation. Now, how sensitive is the nervous system and how thorough is it? Can you touch yourself anywhere and not feel it? No, it's everywhere. Okay, down to the area of a pin. But you can see now these lines on this body, those are called dermatomes, or they're areas of skin supplied by a specific nerve root. So if you damage an area, you're going to decrease sensation. Now has anybody, has their arm ever fallen asleep? Yeah, everybody. When you got your sweetheart here and your arm falls asleep, are you going to move it? No. You're so happy it's around her? Okay, so what happens is, what does it feel like when it comes back? It's all pins and needly. See, when you pinch a nerve, initially it gets hypersensitive, or it gets more sensitive. And then over a period of time, if that nerve gets more and more pinched, it gets deader and deader and deader. So what happens is, when we talk about the nerve sensitivity, we have to look at nerve connections. Now, yes, you can name any disorder in America, any disorder. Now, I'm comfortable at speaking in front of large groups. I was just speaking in Texas a couple of weeks ago, Montreal about a month before that. I'm going to be speaking in Chicago in about another month. So I'm used to this. Is anybody here ever scared when you go to a party? I'll tell you, I am. Because getting in front of a large group talking about stuff I know, I'm okay. If somebody asks me small talk, I'm scared to death. And that's called social anxiety disorder. I'm not kidding. You can name anything, okay? Well, this one, hypoactive sexual desire disorder, okay, HSDD. I'm not kidding. What's frustrating, though, is just to name a disorder, it affects 20% of men and 20% of women. And when you're doing the research on this, here's one of the head docs and director of sexual medicine, Dr. Irwin Goldstein. He's actually the editor of the Journal of Sexual Medicine, if you didn't even know that there was a journal out there. Because, I mean, you got to figure, this is a subject that a lot of, particularly people in the West, are not just not comfortable talking about. I was raised Catholic. You don't talk about this stuff. And so we have all these social mores because, I mean, what was our country started by? Puritans coming over on the Mayflower? I mean, these are subjects that are typically taboo. So we have to open it up. If we can't openly express ourselves, it's going to be hard to solve it. 1 in 5 men, 1 in 5 women have such a low sexual desire that they'd rather do almost anything than have sex. And so you start to look at this, what's the cause of this? Because, I mean, honestly, there's not a better expression to have that connection. Some of the causes: poor diet, lack of exercise, sleep loss, fatigue, excess alcohol, stress, prescription medications, depression. Okay, hormone changes. Has anyone in here ever heard of menopause? You know, it's a problem in this country, and I'm going to show you how to solve it because it's not a problem in other countries. I've got 3 sisters, and honest to goodness, I think all 3 of them were looking forward to stopping that 28-day cycle. It's like freedom. Okay, then you look at this, low thyroid function, and we're going to be speaking about thyroid in a couple of weeks. Body image issues, okay? And also, if you have sexual performance anxiety, I'm going to show you how to strengthen those muscles and change the nerves. So, and also a history of sexual assault. So since it is the nervous system, and you can change your nervous system through perception, this is going to be vital. Anyone ever see the old movie Annie Hall? Okay, I still love that movie. It's funnier than heck. Woody Allen is talking to a therapist. And they say, you know, how many times do you sleep together? And he says, oh man, hardly ever, you know, like 3 times a week. Then the therapist asks Annie Hall, his girlfriend, how often do you guys have sex? Oh man, constantly, like 3 times a week. Hardly ever, 3 times a week. Constantly, 3 times a week. So it's the same thing. Well, now here, the Kinsey Institute, they've been advancing sexual health and knowledge worldwide. Okay, and they've been doing this for decades. Going back in their research, first research that I could find was 1947. Because I want to find out what the science is. You know, if it's affecting 20% of the men and women, where's the research data? What's normal? Okay, if we got a normal. Now, they did the National Survey of Sexual Health and Behaviors. And I got to tell you, this is a very interesting survey. Coming from a conservative background, I'm seeing stuff that I didn't even know that they were actually asked. And it's really not, because if you're thinking, well, this is more normal, the frequency should be, don't throw the numbers away. It really is. It's about how happy the person is next to you, how happy your spouse is, how happy your partner is, okay? Because that's more important than the frequency. When you look at the frequency that they did, and they broke it up into single, partnered, or married, they broke it up into different age groups, and they're talking about just standard sex, okay, or, you know, heterosexual sex. And what's interesting in the different age groups, you're going to see a lot of single people, partnered, and there's going to be variations. And it goes anywhere from once a year to once a month to a few times, you know, a week to 4 more times a week. And it varies. What's interesting, this is the women, and you'll see at 70 years old, partnered, you know, 23% and more than 4 times a week. In the males, 0. So I don't know, maybe the girls are going with younger guys. But when you look at this, okay, so know that it's varied. But what I want you to own is every age group has different sensibilities. Okay, so we need to have healthy life expression at every age. So it's not like, oh wow, you're over 30 and you're going to start to decline, or you're over 60. That's not true. I mean, of course, Jack LaLanne, he was a big jokester, a very healthy guy up until the time he died. And he said he made love almost 7 days a week. It was almost on Monday and almost on Tuesday. And but you know, what we're talking about is actual connection. So let's look at some of the things that are stopping us. If you're a female, God bless the makeup. My mom always said it's harder to be a woman than a guy. That's why guys have to open up doors for ladies, and we have to buy you dinner and all that other stuff, because a guy's not going to spend time doing makeup. You have to watch what you're putting on your skin, because the average toxic components of there, you're talking lipstick has lead. No, still kiss them. Okay, just make sure they have organic lipstick, okay, because there's organic things that you can put on your face. Anything you put on your skin, it's going to be absorbed. Okay, so if you have heavy metals in the mascara or the lipstick, it's going to decrease, it's going to stress the adrenal glands, and the adrenal glands is where testosterone is produced. And in women, testosterone heightens the arousal. So this stuff may make you look really good, but it's going to kill the desire. And you figure the average year, if you're doing the standard chemicals, it's 2 kilograms getting in your system. These are prostate killers. Okay, now the prostate, I'm going to describe where the organ is, but this is going to swell up. You're talking over 80% of American males over 60 are going to have prostate issues. It's 60% at 50 years old are going to have prostate issues. And not only is the prostate vital for function, but it's also the harbinger of a lot of different diseases and cancers. Now, sausage, meat, processed meats, rancid oils, these are all absolutely toxic to sensitive organs. So deadly. It's not dangerous, it's deadly. So this is not a meal that you're going to have. Now, drugs that kill sex drive. Contraceptives. Why? Because it disrupts the hormone level. So if you're having, and think of this, think of the frustration. Okay, you're recently married or you're partnered. Okay, you want to have the desire for your mate, and you're taking a contraceptive and it kills the desire. So you have to look at the chemical in antihistamines. Huge, most chemical reactions in the body. Antihistamines actually cross the brain barrier. They're associated with not just mood fluctuations, but psychosis and psychotic episodes. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. Anybody ever hear of Motrin, Aleve, Advil? I know. They not only destroy joint cartilage, they weaken bone tissue, but they can cause gastrointestinal issues and destroy desire. Okay, antidepressants. I'm not kidding. It destroys libido. Panic and anxiety drugs, blood pressure meds. Okay, now that I put duh next to it because if you need healthy blood flow, and this goes to male parts and female parts, if you don't have healthy blood flow, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no species on the planet that hasn't been able to regulate their own blood pressure or regulate their own system. Do you think that bears need to lower their blood pressure, or buffaloes, or deer, or antelope? No, the human species it's foolishness to say that we need to regulate our metabolic processes with a chemical. And typically in our office it takes around 2 weeks to lower blood pressure, or to normalize. Cholesterol drugs. Your adrenals produce every glucocorticosteroid, mineralocorticosteroid, and sex hormone. The raw materials that your adrenals make, and this means desire, arousal, and success and passion, come from the adrenals along with the other sources of the endocrine system. They build all that stuff out of cholesterol. So to take a chemical to lower it is absolutely insane. You got to figure most of these practices of chemically altering your physiology with blood pressure, diabetes drugs, cholesterol drugs, this is going to be declared obsolete in just a few more years. Okay, the more the public becomes aware of it. And then antacids, that's just absolutely insane. If you're changing the acidic thing, you can't break down nutrients, and you're not going to be able to build your body. I mean, we know. Michael Jackson, I loved his music. What was he killed by? Current medical care, the same thing that killed George Washington. I mean, you're not going to see Whitney Houston. How many people liked her music? Mm-hmm. This is nuts. Okay, you can't alter physiology. Just the problem with cholesterol-lowering drugs, elevation in blood sugar, that means the blood gets thick. If the blood gets thick, are you going to have healthy performance or unhealthy blood flow? That's why decreased libido when you start looking at the problems. I mean, it's just a crazy cascade. Now, PUFAs. No, I didn't just sneeze. That's polyunsaturated fatty acids. This means that you have to look at every package. If you see sunflower oil, safflower oil, corn oil, flax oil, sesame seed oil, pumpkin seed oil, I mean, we're talking canola oil. This is in virtually every packaged product out there. It clumps blood vessels together. It makes the blood vessels actually sticky. Now, the whole thing with performance, and this goes healthy blood supply to the adrenals, healthy blood supply to all the organs, healthy blood supply to the brain, so that you can have that normal, that passion buildup and a normal function. You need separate blood vessels. Vegetable oils, or these type of vegetable oils, coconut oil, avocado oil, olive oil, those are very healthy oils as long as they're raw, cold pressed. These are rancidify very, very quickly. Now, you'll see on here flax oil. Flax oil is a little bit different. If you make it yourself, it's great, but it rancidifies quickly. Rancidifies means that it starts to break down and create free radicals. So this is one of the major toxins of the system. This gal here, and this is an x-ray of her, 13 different medications. Remember, this is called medical care today. It's going to be declared obsolete. Because how was her home? 13 meds, can you imagine it? Okay, it was horrible. Well, luckily, she was 60 pounds overweight, poor diet, 55 years old. Within 30 days, she'd lost 20 pounds, no more medications, and she actually started to function normally. I mean, this made all the difference in the world in her relationship and her husband. She'd been married 20 years, and at 55, in my world, that's a kid. Okay, you know how they say 60 is the new 40? I'm telling you right now, 54, this is the new 20. So now we got to go over anatomy and physiology. Okay, this is like if you slice the body down the middle. Now, this is the female and this is the male. And you'll see in the female side, all the nerves that supply the pelvic organs come out of the low back. Now, if I was to say pressure on this disc here increases, and that's right at the base, 8 times normal under golf. That's when you grab that, you spin, and you'd say, well, of course, you're bending, turning, twisting. What you're doing right now, sitting, is increasing the pressure on that disc 5 times normal. So how many people have a sedentary lifestyle? This is why when you start seeing it, office workers, truck drivers, they're all going to have prostate issues because those nerves are compromised. Because when you're sitting, do you have healthy blood supply to that area? No. So we got to start working the pelvic area and the pelvic organs. Vitally important. Now there's a few groups of people on the planet that don't have prostate issues. Okay, males. I mean, American males, forget about it. You're pretty much done. You're going to have prostate issues unless you follow normal human advice. You'll see in the American male, the rectum comes right behind the prostate. And in fact, that's what doctors do. I mean, I had to do 10 prostate exams to become licensed, 10 gynecological exams, 10 breast exams. And let me tell you, I'm never going to be a prostatologist, okay? It's not really a field that, it's something you got to do, but it's not as fun as it seems. But you can see if you have healthy stool flow or healthy stool formation, when that goes by, you're going to get healthy elimination, but it's also going to almost massage the prostate. So to have healthy prostate, you need healthy blood supply. To have healthy prostate, you need healthy nerve supply. To have healthy nerve supply and blood supply, you need healthy elimination and nutrition. See the correlation here? So this is vital. Now, there's a lot of cultures, not pent-up cultures that are restrictive like ours, that do prostate massage on a regular basis. This is considered just health. And for couples, this is absolutely vital. And all it does is just takes a finger in the rectum and you'll feel it right up there. It's like a donut-shaped organ. Girls, try it. Okay, guys, try it, because it is vital to maintain the health of the organ. Now, in a woman, the same thing. More of the nerves are located on the front portion of it, and this is a secret. Guys, well, experienced guys may know if you have good communication with your sweetheart. Okay, but most of the nerves are on the front. So if you concentrate your attention on more of the front aspect, okay, of the vaginal canal, you're going to find something called the G spot. Okay, and I think it stands for good spot. Okay, and what you have to do, similar to the prostate, you have to curl your finger just a little bit, but it's right on the inside. And good communication, but that's where the area needs to be focused. But you got it. I mean, you could see the health of the nerves are directly associated with sensation and function. Does that make sense? So when you look at to healthy prostate, and this is, remember, you got to eliminate packaged meats, processed meats, lunch meats. Those are going to just wipe your prostate out completely. Certain things that are vital for healthy prostates. Okay, vitamin E, vitamin D, selenium. This is Brazil nuts. Okay, asparagus, fantastically important. Okay, and this is to have a healthy, fresh ground flax seeds, but not flax seeds in an oil because it can acidify. Daily vegetable juice. And these are similar things that women need also to have healthy blood supply and function down there. Now, Kegel exercises. If you're urinating and you stop the flow, okay, with your muscles, that's a Kegel. Now, this is very, very common that they tell women after you've given birth. What's wild is, now this is the floor, like if you look at the pelvis coming out, the floor, the absolute floor where the rectum is here and either the penis or the vaginal area is right here, this is looking at that, so we're taking it and flipping it up. Okay, does that make sense? Now, this is the pelvic floor. Now, what happens, and this happens when just if you're sitting a lot, if you're standing a lot over a period of years, the organ systems push down on that and it opens up that pelvic floor. Now, when you have a stretched out muscle, is it strong or weak? Don't answer. Okay. Can I borrow you as an example? Okay, just stretch your arm out. Okay, now, okay, bend your arm. He can't do it, okay? Because those muscle fibers are stretched and there's not a lot of strength to them, not a lot of control. But now, what I'm going to do is shorten the fibers. Okay, now bend it. No, the other way. Okay. Considerably stronger. So what happens is, to have control of this, you have to use it. And plus using it, it's going to restore blood supply. Using it not only restores blood supply, it's also going to restore control. How would you like to have control? Men and women. Okay, so this is vital, but what I want you to, I mean, a man is going to look at this and say, yes, of course, it's a very sensitive area, you've got muscles that go around the whole shaft. What's interesting is the same muscles here go around the entire vaginal area. And what guys forget is they just concentrate on one area. You have to, if you concentrate on the entire area, you're going to notice a massive difference, So the Kegel exercises, 5 seconds, do it 10 times in a row, do at least 5 sets a day. And if you do this on a consistent basis, and you can do it while you're working on the computer, while you're driving in traffic, this is just an area that you have to work to keep that area in shape. It's going to be spectacular. Then, this area here, exercises. You actually need to be in shape in order to have healthy romance. You do. This is my favorite exercise here. I mean, it's one of the best sit-ups you're ever going to do. But by rotating that, you strengthen the core. So, I mean, you don't need to do acrobats, but you do need to have healthy flexibility. These twisting exercises, incredible. But yoga and flexing and bending and turning and twisting are going to be vital. And You do have to be in shape, because remember, the passion, that lovemaking, you got to have that physical attributes to be able to hold and press and just to have stamina. So the twisting, bending exercises are ideal. And that's why one of the tough problems when you have an environment like we have, where it's calorie rich and nutrition poor, that's not healthy. Now, if you're not healthy in body, you can't express that joy and that love. And that's what relationships are meant to have. Whatever level you want, you've got to have appropriate passion. And you've got to have the stamina to make up for it. Now, when we look at this, there's some books. Now, this book here, the Multi-Orgasmic Man, and it is brilliant. A friend gave it to me a few years ago, and it steps it up a notch. For men, what you're going to find out is a thing called dry orgasm, which allows you to control it. Just like I was talking about the Kegel exercises, actually giving you control of the climax so you can make the pleasure and joy last longer. Well, this book will give you some of the techniques. Now, I've never read The Multi-Orgasmic Woman or The Multi-Orgasmic Couple, but I got to tell you, I've got to recommend it, because if this guy did such a good job on the male orgasm, I'm pretty sure they did pretty good work on the other orgasms. Now, this is huge. Too many couples get caught in this mindset of, well, when I get sex, I'm going to give you romance and be nice. Or, well, I'm going to give you romance and be nice just so I can get sex. None of that works. It's totally putting the cart before the horse. You've got to have trust. You've got to have connection before you develop those physical attributes of what passion, romance, and good, healthy sex is. So you've got to develop healthy body, trust and communication, because so many times long-term relationships, the beauty of them is that you get to know your partner's loves and wants and joys and desires. And you also, if you have good communication, you know what drives your partner crazy in a good way. Okay, but you're going to also develop certain techniques to push their buttons in a negative way. And that can develop major trust issues. So communication and trust. And I'm going to show you a technique for that in just a moment. But also the chemistry. The chemistry that you have, that you develop, and you develop that through physical touch, emotion, through everything we've talked about. And then you get the touch, the passion, and the romance. And this is, you know how they say guidelines or rules? This is a guideline, but the happier your partner is, the happier you're going to be. It makes all the difference in the world. Touch. This is hugely important. Now, there's certain aspects of touch, light touch, heavy touch, and depending on the area, depending on your partner, they may like a different touch. But I got to tell you right now, one of the most sensitive, underappreciated areas is the back of the neck area. So when you're touching or holding or greeting or kissing your partner, take your hand, just like this picture demonstrates, and go up the back of that neck. Your fingers can go into the hair, and just that skin-on-skin contact makes such a massive difference. The more skin you have. When you're hugging, you don't hug with just your chest leaning there. Hug with your entire body, where you're pressing your sweetheart into you. And that connection, that passion, that builds that energy, and that changes the chemistry. So, and also, it does take courage. If you've been in a long-term relationship, or if you're just starting a relationship, it takes such courage to reveal your heart and to say, hey, look, I'm vulnerable now. Okay, I want to express my needs and my desires and wants. And look at this quote. All you need is 20 seconds of insane courage, and I promise you something great will come of it. Now, that's a quote out of We Bought a Zoo. And it's true. Love, passion, romance takes phenomenal courage. And I encourage you, because it's worth it. Now, here's a couple of books that are going to be. Now, here's a couple of tricks to develop that interpersonal relationship, even with somebody that you may have had challenges with. Because let me tell you, if you've been with someone just more than a few months or a few years, you have that problem. And I've seen this in so many people that have affairs, male and females. If they put their energy and effort into their spouse or their current relationship instead of diverting it, their current relationship would blossom. So take the 90-day challenge. Put 90 days of effort into your spouse. Treat them as if they were the greatest lover, greatest friend, most passionate, most understanding, most giving person for 90 days. Whether it's reciprocal or not, just put that love energy out. And what the beauty of this is, your relationship is going to blossom to a new height, or it'll be something that will end and be able to go on to the next one. But put that 90 days in of whole heart, 100%. It's just like when we go skydiving. You can't step out of the plane and then not fall. Okay, you got to have 20 seconds of insane courage. I'm asking for a 90-day commitment. And some of the books I encourage you to read is one of them, Nonviolent Communication. It's a method of listening by Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. I've purchased maybe a dozen copies of these. I've given them to a number of patients. But it's a method of hearing the meaning behind the words. When someone says, I'm frustrated or I'm angry, what they're generally saying is they're scared. They're scared to open up. So it allows you techniques to listen to the meaning behind the words. Also, the other book is The 5 Languages of Love by Dr. Gary Chapman. Now, what's interesting about this is everybody expresses love in different ways. They're kinesthetic, there's visual, there's auditory. Some people want to hear it. Some people require that touch and that connection, okay? Some people are auditory, where they want to be told that they love you, okay? So, I mean, think of the number one thing that happens. One couple says, well, what's wrong? Doesn't that drive you crazy? It drives me crazy. Because no, I don't know. I wouldn't have asked if I knew. So look at the different type of person your partner is and understand the type you are so you can ask. You know how you get what you want? You ask for it. It works. Okay, so understand the type of person you are. You may be visual. You may be visually excited. You may be auditory. You may need to hear it or have music playing during the passionate romance. You may need even different touches. So have that communication, but realize you're more energy than matter. Now, some helpful foods. Now, you can call them aphrodisiacs, but just to say, you've developed everything so far. You've got that passion. You've been doing the Kegels, okay, so you have good control. And this is women and men. You've got good control of your orgasm potential. And the PONR, the point of no return, okay, you have better control of that. So now, what do? What do you have for food to generate and to help? First off, dark chocolate, fantastic, great aphrodisiac. A little bit of coffee as well, too, excellent. Ginkgo biloba, ginseng, Maca Root, fantastic for stabilizing, okay, certain hormone levels. Then you look at Erythrema, okay, Yohimbe is excellent for erectile dysfunction. And then Tirabulus terratistis, okay, well, it raises testosterone. Okay, now what's interesting, a lot of these foods that we're talking about also help. Okay, such as asparagus, it's loaded with selenium. Okay, Brazil nuts, fantastic for the prostate. So when you look at these, cinnamon, banana, the oysters loaded with zinc. Okay, so it is true. A lot of those things do have aphrodisiac properties. This is what we recommend in our office. The Maca Root is fantastic. It balances female hormones. Plus, when a woman is going through the change of life, or if men or women are exposed to toxic foods, Maca Root is fantastic for balancing out the hormone insufficiencies. Body Balance. This is a liquid mineral replacement We recommend it, but any whole food liquid mineral replacement is going to be excellent as long as it's organic. That's just the one we recommend. Magistral. Now, what's interesting is Body Balance and Magistral, they're both multi-level marketing companies, and I've never wanted to be involved in them. I've never liked them, except these are two good products. And they're things that we recommend. And the Magistral was given to me by, well, he's in his mid-90s now, but he gave it to me about 10 years ago. Now here I am, I'm in my early 40s, and I don't have any problems at all, I'm fine. This 80-year-old guy comes up to me and says, "Doc, I can put out forest fires." Okay, so I'm thinking TMI. Okay, but you know, you gotta know. Okay, so he tells me this, and sure enough. And then you look at the ingredients. It tastes like mud. It's absolutely disgusting. But it helps the prostate flow. It helps the blood supply flow. And it's just a brilliant product. This is what we've got to stop. I mean, 12 years of blood pressure medications, Ray. You can see. And what do blood pressure medications do? Does it increase the heart function or slow it down? It slows it down. Does that slow blood supply to every area? Absolutely. You need blood to engorge the female sex organs. You need blood to engorge the male sex organs. You need healthy blood. You need healthy blood supply and healthy blood flow to have a good relationship. Blood pressure medications slow that down. So if you have that, clean the arteries, for goodness sake. It just makes sense. This is what your body requires, not just for healthy passions, sexual health, romantic health. This is the expression of life. It's the epitome of the expression of life, is the romance and health and love and joy. It's a way that you can show it. You need to get your nervous system checked, number one, because by gosh, sedentary lifestyles, that chokes off those nerves that supply the pelvic area. You got to have sensation down there, don't you? Yeah. Okay, you absolutely need healthy exercise. And I'm talking for the core, the balance. I've suggested it. I mean, the ball exercises, everything that you require. But you have to have a reasonable amount of health and physical power so that you can really enjoy that lovemaking. Proper nutrition. This means if man makes it, you don't eat it. An inflammatory diet can shut down blood supply and talk about kill the mood. It'd be devastating. Sufficient rest. If you're fatigued or tired, you're never going to be making it, okay? So make sure that you have sufficient rest and you have communication as well. And prayer and meditation. By gosh, if you pray together, if you meditate together, if you have a spiritual connection, guys, spiritual connection first, trust second, love making and touch and joy third, okay? Do it in that order. You're going to have a wonderful time. And it expressed your partner, your feelings. But I got to tell you, if you pray and meditate, it's going to be absolutely exceptional, okay? So now, all of these are recorded. Okay, Lori's in the back. You know, to get a 5-point disease check usually costs $275. It's $20, okay, at our office, and that's thorough. And all of these are recorded. So please, see Lori in the back, get a coupon, get one for your friend. But by gosh, realize that romance is the physical expression of the love you feel in your heart. You follow these simple steps and you're going to really enjoy it. God bless you.